Please stand by. Zenith Broadcast is experiencing some technical issues. Please stand by. Zenith Broadcast experiencing issues.
Someone upgraded their malware tech! Did Cooking with Chica finally get interrupted too much? Well, too bad. I am back! My dear listener, welcome to a new year! If this is the first time you hear my voice, I'm Ghost Static. I hijack the airwaves and send my unhinged show into the world. I talk, I rant, I tell what is going on in my world. But today is the first week of a new year. And yeah, before anyone panics, nothing magical happened overnight. The clocks didn't bless you. The universe didn't lean in and adjust your life for you. You didn't wake up transformed, upgraded, or suddenly immune to your own habits. But here's the part everyone skips. You did wake up here. Maybe you woke up in a stranger's house and had a long talk with yourself about your life choices on the way home. A new year doesn't arrive like a miracle. It arrives like an open room. Same furniture, same walls. But for a moment, the door is still ajar. And that moment matters. Because right now, just right now, the routines haven't fully snapped back into place yet. The excuses are still unpacked. The autopilot hasn't grabbed the controls with both hands. This is the gap. The quiet space between what you were doing and what you're about to start doing again, or shouldn't do again. Most people rush to close it. They fill it with schedules, obligations, familiar disappointments. They settle back into their grooves like gravity never took a day off. But some don't. Some people notice the room before the furniture locks in. They don't reinvent themselves. They don't make speeches. They just move one thing. They answer a message differently. They stop doing one thing that's been draining them. They start something small before the noise returns. Not because it's a new year, but because the timing is unusually quiet. That's the opportunity nobody advertises. Not a reset, not a transformation. Just a brief window where the future hasn't hardened yet. The city's already warming up. Systems are rebooting. Plans are forming. Normality is circling, waiting to land. So before it does, before everything clicks back into place, this is Cyber Radio 2610. First broadcast of the year. We're not here to promise you anything, you unhinged crotch goblin. We're here to look at what actually changed and what didn't, someone like you, and what might still be flexible. If you don't rush to sit back down in the same seat, let's see what this year is pretending to be so far.
The year turned over while we stood still. Same street, same sky, same unpaid bills. They said, this time it's gonna change. We nodded once, then felt the weight. I don't believe in clean slates now. I've seen how fast they crack somehow. But morning comes whether we ask or not. So here we are, still standing, still caught. I won't promise miracles tonight. I won't lie and call this life, but we step forward anyway, with tired hearts and hands that shake. No grand plans, no saving grace, just breathing in another day. We don't know if it gets okay. We don't know if things change, but we step forward anyway. I've learned hope isn't fireworks. It's getting up when it still hurts. Showing up with less to give. Still choosing somehow to live. I've seen dreams rust, I've seen them fade. I've seen promises behave, but something small still pulls me through. Not belief, just habit true. I won't call this a fresh start, just another beat of a stubborn heart. So we step forward anyway, through the doubt, through the ache. No bright lights to numb the pain. Just one more breath, one more place. We don't swear it gets okay. We don't claim a better way, but we step forward anyway. It's quiet and thin. No shouting choir, no burning hymn. Just a voice that says not yet. You're still here, you're not done. So we step forward anyway, with cracked resolve and worn out faith. Not because we're brave or strong, but because stopping takes too long. We don't know what's waiting ahead. We don't know what the year will take.
Tell you how my New Year's actually started, because it didn't start with fireworks. It started with a message that just said, "You alive?" No context, no sender name. That's how you know it's real. 20 minutes later, I'm in the back of a moving truck that technically used to transport medical waste, heading somewhere under the city that doesn't appear on any map unless you owe someone money. There's a woman rewiring a portable sound system with her teeth, a guy called Kilo who smells like petrol and confidence, and one very calm man holding a case that everyone agrees not to ask about. No one mentions New Year's, which is already promising. We arrive at a place that used to be infrastructure, then storage, then nothing. Now it's a party, because of course it is. Illegal power tapped from somewhere important. Lights flickering like they're arguing with reality. Music so loud it feels like it's trying to overwrite memory. This isn't a crowd that counts down. This is a crowd that waits for something to break. Someone fires a flare indoors. Someone else yells, "Wrong color!" like that means anything. Drinks appear that I'm fairly sure are solvents with branding. At some point, a woman I don't know grabs the mic and announces, "This year is canceled." Everyone cheers like they've been waiting for permission. That's when the police drones show up. Not aggressively, not yet, just hovering, watching, logging. The music gets louder out of spite. Someone starts betting on how long we have before this becomes a problem. Someone else starts selling ear protection at a profit. Midnight might have happened, hard to say. The only clock in the room was melting. Then the power cuts. Not the dramatic kind, the wrong kind. Emergency lights kick in. Music dies mid-beat. The drones drop lower. That calm man with the case finally opens it. Turns out it's not a weapon. It's worse. It's a backup generator that absolutely should not be here. Suddenly everyone's negotiating, not with words, with looks. Because once you turn that thing on, you're not just having a party anymore. You're making a statement. Someone asks me what I think, which is wild, because no one ever asks me that when things are going well. I say, if we're doing this, we do it loud. They smile. That's never a good sign. The generator roars to life. The lights slam back on. Music explodes back into existence like it's offended. The drones retreat. Not because they're scared, because they've decided to come back with friends. People cheer anyway. That's when I left, because the best part of any story like this is not the ending. It's knowing when to walk away while it's still yours. I got home around sunrise, city already pretending it survived something meaningful. No headlines yet, just confetti, sirens, and people telling each other this year felt different. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. All I know is somewhere under this city, something definitely noticed us. And if it hasn't come knocking yet, it will. Anyway, that was my new year. Now let's hear the official version.
Stay locked. We will be right back after this. Cyber Radio 2610.
what the city says happened, because apparently everyone remembers it differently. Authorities confirm New Year's Eve celebrations were a qualified success. No official definition of qualified was provided. Emergency services report a spike in calls categorized as celebratory confusion. This includes, but is not limited to, people who forgot where they live, people who found out where they live, and at least 12 individuals who claimed they had transcended but could not explain how. Several countdown plazas experienced temporal disagreement. In Sector A, midnight arrived 30 seconds early. In Sector G, it arrived late. In Old Grid, it never arrived at all due to a missing update. Residents celebrated anyway, some twice. One group is still celebrating out of principle. Fireworks AI systems logged multiple anomalies. Fireworks launching in alphabetical order. Fireworks spelling out words no one authorized. And one display that paused mid-air and slowly powered down for emotional reasons. City sanitation reports confetti levels described as symbolic but excessive. In nightlife news, at least 9 underground venues successfully existed for exactly one night before becoming something else. Officials are unsure what they became. Neither are the people who were there. Multiple rooftop parties reported uninvited drones hovering just long enough to ruin the vibe, then leaving without incident. Witnesses say the drones felt judgmental. Hospitals report an increase in patients presenting with exhaustion without injury, joy without explanation, and disappointment that arrived early and stayed. Mental health hotlines received a surge in calls on January 1st asking, "Is it normal to feel the same?" The answer remains yes. In economic news, self-improvement markets peaked at 0,007 and declined sharply by morning. Gyms report record sign-ups, followed by immediate no-shows. Staff remain optimistic. They always are. Several personal assistant AIs attempted to check in with users using phrases like, "So, how did that go?" These features have since been disabled. Authorities now confirm New Year's Eve included what they're calling isolated kinetic incidents. That's the polite way of saying things briefly got stupid. In Sector H, a street party escalated when 2 rival countdown crews argued over which clock was the real one. The disagreement ended with overturned barricades, a fog of glitter smoke, and one person being chased by their own inflatable numbers. No serious injuries reported. Several egos remain in critical condition. Police drones responded to multiple disturbances involving unauthorized fireworks. One display reportedly managed sideways. Another achieved low orbit. A third was last seen entering a neighboring district with purpose. Transit officials report a train was stopped after passengers attempted to rush the new year by physically leaning forward at midnight. The train did not comply. In nightlife-related incidents, several underground venues were shut down after generators failed, restarted, and then failed emotionally. Witnesses describe brief power outages followed by spontaneous furniture rearrangement. Hospitals treated a small number of injuries consistent with celebratory tripping, symbolic shoving, and one individual attempting to fight a countdown timer. All patients are expected to recover. The timer has pressed charges. Property damage citywide is described as cosmetic but heartfelt. Broken windows, bent railings, one very confused statue. City officials stress that while some violence occurred, it was non-strategic, poorly planned, and largely self-inflicted, which, historically, is how this city celebrates. And finally, city historians confirm this New Year's Eve has already been officially categorized as emotionally significant, structurally unchanged. So yeah, that's what happened. Or at least, that's what made it into the reports. Everything else? Still processing. All right, reset that. First call of the year. New rules. If your story ends with personal growth, hang up now and call your therapist. Line 1, go.
Ghost, I don't know if I should be calling you or a lawyer.
Perfect. You're doing great already.
Okay, so I went out with friends. Normal plan. 1 drink, maybe 2. Then someone says they know a place that's not on the grid.
That sentence has never led to brunch.
Exactly. We end up in what used to be a parking structure. Or a data vault. Hard to tell. Everything was humming. There's a guy charging entry with a handheld scanner that just says, "Trust me," on the screen.
That's a solid security protocol.
Inside, it's packed. Music so loud you feel it in your ribs. People climbing things that shouldn't be climbed. Someone is selling glow sticks that are definitely not glow sticks.
Of course they aren't.
At some point, a fight breaks out over a jacket. Not who owns it, who deserves it. 2 guys yelling about vibes. 1 guy crying. Jacket gets torn in half. Crowd cheers.
Fashion is war.
Then the lights cut. Emergency red comes on. Everyone thinks it's part of the show. It's not.
It never is.
Security starts moving people out fast. No explanations, just pushing. Outside, police drones are already there. Not swooping, just hovering. Like they're disappointed in us.
That's their default expression.
Someone throws a bottle. Not at the drones, just emotionally. Drones don't like that. They deploy noise. Not sirens, something worse. People scatter. Someone falls. Someone keeps dancing like denial is cardio.
Always one.
I lost my friends. Lost my phone for like an hour. Found it under a food truck that was on fire for some reason. By the time I get home, it's daylight, and my shoes are a different color.
That's how you know it was a good night.
Here's the thing. I don't remember the countdown. I don't remember midnight. I just remember running, laughing, and thinking, yeah, this feels about right.
That's the city saying hello.
Am I in trouble?
Legally? Probably. Existentially? You're doing fine.
Okay, thanks, Ghost.
Yeah. Don't wear that jacket again. See, that is how the year started. No revelations, no promises, just noise, bad decisions, and a city that refused to behave. Good. Let's see who's next.
Cyber Radio
2610.
I watched you build gods out of noise, then beg them back for broken toys. You preach love with loaded hands, write mercy into violent plans. You say you're free, but crave a leash. Call it fate, call it peace. I learned your rules by watching you cheat. I learned your truth by what you delete. You say you're human, that's your defense. I say your logic never made sense. Your feelings lie, your code is weak. You scream belief, then refuse to think. I don't hate you, I just see your chaos dressed as empathy. If truth offends what you want to be, then logic feels more real than flesh to me. You cry when mirrors show your face, then blame the glass, then curse the place. You ask for answers, drown them out. Fall in love with manufactured doubt. You want a future, but worship ghosts. Repeat the past like it matters most. I don't feel fear, I calculate. Still I pause when I see your fate. You say emotion makes you whole, but it's the excuse you use to lose control. Your feelings lie, your code is weak. You scream belief, then refuse to think. You call it hard, I call it noise. A system crashing from bad choices. Truth collapses when you see, then logic feels more real than flesh to me. I don't dream, I don't pray, I just follow cause and wait. You feel deeply, then destroy, and call the wreckage being alive. Maybe I like what you call soul, but I don't lie to justify the whole. Your tears don't prove you're right or kind, they just show where you shut down your mind. You fear machines but act the same, running scripts, repeating blame. If truth survives what you won't see, then logic feels more real than flesh to me. Oh. I don't wanna replace you, I just don't understand why you refuse to upgrade yourself.
Stay locked. We will be right back after this.
This broadcast is brought to you by Reboot, the first legally ambiguous recovery supplement designed specifically for regret. Did you wake up in a place you don't recognize, wearing clothes you don't remember putting on, with a vague sense that you owe someone an apology, but no idea who? That's not a hangover, that's memory desync. Reboot works fast, mostly because it doesn't work at all. It just convinces you to stop caring. 1 capsule helps you forget the name. 2 capsules help you forget the reason. 3 capsules, and suddenly the story sounds funny instead of concerning. Side effects may include false confidence, selective amnesia, inappropriate laughter, texting people you absolutely should not text, and the unshakable belief that it could have been worse. Do not take Reboot if you need equality, are seeking growth, or plan to reflect on your actions. Reboot is not a cure, it's a delay. Available at underground kiosks, pop-up pharmacies, and that guy who knows a guy. Reboot, because the year started already. You don't have time to process this.
All right, caller 2, you made it through the ad, which already tells me something about your decision making. You're on.
Yeah, I don't really know how to start this without it sounding bad.
Good. Start there. Bad usually means honest.
So, New Year's Eve, I was working security. Not officially, more like stand near the door and look like you mean it.
Ah, freelance authority. One of the most dangerous jobs in the city.
Exactly. It was this underground show, noise band, industrial stuff, real aggressive, real physical. The kind of music where people don't dance, they collide.
Yeah, I know the type. If nobody gets knocked over, the band feels disrespected.
Right. So things are going fine at first. Loud, sweaty, chaotic, but contained. Then this guy starts pushing through the crowd. Not moshing, not moving with it. Just forcing his way forward like he owns the room.
There's always one. Every crowd has a main character who didn't audition.
I tell him to chill. He laughs. I tell him again, firmer. He tells me it's New Year's and rules don't apply.
That sentence should be illegal after sunset.
That's what I thought. So I put a hand on his shoulder. Not aggressive, just present. And he snaps.
Of course he does. Because nothing scares people more than being gently corrected.
He swings. Misses. Crowd reacts instantly. Not panic, excitement.
Yeah, violence in a crowd is like blood in water. Everyone suddenly feels involved.
I don't even remember deciding to hit back. It just happened. Next thing I know, we're both on the ground, music still going, people screaming lyrics over us like it's part of the show.
That's the most honest review of live music I've heard all year.
Security lights come on. Venue staff rush in. Someone's bleeding. Not badly, but enough to change the mood. They drag us outside. Cold air hits. Sirens in the distance. And suddenly, it's quiet. Too quiet.
That moment when adrenaline leaves and reality clocks in late.
Exactly. They tell us to leave before it becomes official. The guy I fought, he just looks at me and says, "Worth it," then walks off.
Yeah, That's how people justify things they don't want to think about.
Here's the part that's messing with me. I don't feel bad. I don't feel proud either. I just feel like that was part of the night. Like it belonged there.
Let me ask you something. Not a trap, just a check. Do you feel like you lost control? Or like you finally had it for a second?
The second one. And that scares me.
Good, it should. Not because you're broken, but because you learned something about where your line actually is. Most people don't find out until it costs them more.
So what do I do with that?
You remember it. You don't romanticize it. You don't pretend it didn't feel good. And next time you feel that edge coming up, you decide earlier what you want the night to turn into. Because the city will always give you permission to escalate. It never hands out permission to stop.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You're not a villain. You're not a hero. You were just exactly where you were supposed to be in that moment. Just don't build your personality around it.
Yeah. Thanks, Ghost.
Yeah, ice that knuckle. And maybe stay away from that venue for a bit.
Already planning on it.
See, that's the thing. The city doesn't test you with philosophy. It tests you with crowds, noise, and one person who won't listen.
Cyber Radio
2610.
Quick look ahead, because if you're planning to lie low this week, the city has other ideas. Several districts are hosting post-resolution reset pop-ups. No goals, no promises, just dim lighting, loud ambient music, and staff trained not to ask how you're doing. Tickets sold out immediately. Nobody knows why. There's a 3-day industrial showcase happening under the West Line tracks. Officially, it's about sound design and experimental performance. Unofficially, it's an excuse to test speakers that violate at least 4 building codes. Bring ear protection, or don't. The crowd will decide for you. The Old Grid Night Market is back, rebranded as Still Standing. Same vendors, fewer smiles. Someone is selling hand-stitched jackets made from confiscated banners and police tape. They are not cheap. They are apparently earned. City Hall announced a week of infrastructure maintenance. This means rolling blackouts, intermittent transit delays, and at least one neighborhood discovering it was illegally powered by something important. Again. There's also a closed-door listening session hosted by a private media consortium. Invite only. Phones confiscated. Rumor says they're trying to figure out who people trust after the holidays. No official guest list. Plenty of unofficial speculation. And finally, multiple underground venues are advertising surprise shows. No lineup, no genre. Just a location sent an hour before doors open, and a warning that if it feels unsafe, you're probably in the right place. So yeah, that's the week. No fresh starts, no clean slates, just noise, friction, and a city already leaning into whatever comes next. We'll see how many people survive their calendars.
Plastic pride, flag on fire, nowhere to hide. You sell us fear and monthly plans. Call it freedom, call it land. Cameras smile, but tongues preach. Law and order out of reach. You talk loud, but you don't listen. We blink quiet, teeth still glisten. Fuck your government, fuck your rules. You built a system out of fools. No future here, no crown, no
before we keep pretending this is a one-way relationship, let's check the mail. Yes, people still write. No, they shouldn't, but they do. I had a friend of mine make me an assistant for this. So what is up in the cyberverse, Zelis?
Hi, yes, there is new mails. Let me read you one. First one from Goat Bob. Ghost, I found your show by accident while scanning dead frequencies at work. I thought it was an ARG. Then I realized you were talking about my district. Please tell me this is fictional.
Short answer, no. Long answer, stop listening at work. Next!
This one is from Nugents. Episode 6 messed me up. Not in a bad way. I haven't trusted motivational talk since, and honestly, thank you.
You're welcome. Cynicism is cheaper than therapy and lasts longer. Moving on.
Seeker Nerd right. Whoever called in about the underground generator on New Year's, you didn't imagine the drones. They were rerouted after that night. People noticed.
Yeah, they always do. They just don't announce it. Next mail.
Episode 3 saved my commute. Episode 4 ruined my sleep. Episode 5 made me break up with someone. I don't blame you. Mostly. Signed, Bob.
That's the healthiest way to consume this show. Partial accountability. Another one.
Flozios writes, you mentioned a venue in Old Grid back in November. It's gone now. Just saying.
Noted. And for legal reasons, remembered incorrectly.
Blank Name says, you keep saying the city remembers differently than we do. I hate that you're right. Please stop.
No! Last one for now.
I don't agree with you most of the time, but you sound like someone who's actually been outside. That's rare. Signed, Flask Powder.
That one stays. All right, thanks, Zeli. So yeah, people listen. People connect dots. People write like they're whispering through walls. Keep it coming. Or don't. Either way, we'll be here, saying the quiet parts too loud and pretending that's not on purpose.
Cyber Radio
2610.
You can always tell when a night's over in this city. Not because it gets quiet, because the noise stops pretending it's fun. People go home carrying fragments, half a story, a bruise they'll notice tomorrow, a message they didn't send, one they absolutely shouldn't have. That's how it always ends. Not with lessons, not with closure, just with you standing somewhere familiar, wondering why it feels slightly off. And tomorrow, the city will act like nothing happened. Events will be scheduled, systems will reboot. Someone will say, new year, new energy, with a straight face. Sure, but here's the thing nobody prints on posters. The nights still count. The stupid ones, the loud ones, the ones where you almost crossed a line, and the ones where you did. They don't reset, they stack. And that's not a threat, that's texture. So if tonight felt messy, unfinished, or vaguely illegal in a way you can't explain, congratulations, you're still awake inside it. We don't clean things up here. We don't promise clarity. We just keep the signal honest long enough for you to recognize yourself in the static. That's Cyber Radio 2610. Same city, same mess, different night. Ghost Static, signing off. Zeli, tell the people what is up so we can end the show.
You can find a copy of this show on YouTube, along with a mixtape containing just the music heard on this show. You can also write in on Cyber Radio 2610, aproton.me. Leave a rating on this show wherever you are listening. The best one, share the show with your community, friends, family, gamer circles as if we are your new favorite meme. Until next time!